Alright, just a quick video, you guys, showing how to adjust the transmission belt. And also on some of the older Kirbys, you do want to check this fork here. And this fork, you want to make sure you got at least 1/8 of an inch of fork sticking up past this hole in the handle spring. A lot of times these older ones, the fork was really short like this one. They would get bent downward over time and it would get stuck under this the fork would get caught under this handle spring, and then the Kirby would be like a wild horse. It would just rush forward and people didn't know why, and that's usually what causes it. So yeah, so if you take the transmission out of the Kirby and you can see where I got the little marks there from the vice grips. I just pinch this lower crease first with the vice grips just to kind of bend it this way. And then you pinch that upper crease a little bit to bend it back in its original position. And that'll raise that fork up, 1/8 of an inch or so. And you'll get better engagement into that handle spring. So, and again, some of the newer Centrias on up, some of the older Centrias at the shorter fork, the newer Centrias at the longer fork. If you order a new transmission, you're going to get that longer fork. You're not going to have to worry about that issue. But that's just something to check. Now, your transmission belt, believe it or not, is adjustable. When you push down on this belt, you should have some deflection. I've seen some that are so tight, you can't even push it. I mean, it's just like tight. And I've seen some that are so loose that I can push this belt way down into there, and then what happens is it slips on the gear here. So, all of them have their own personality. Some are going to naturally be a little tighter. Some are naturally going to be a little looser. This particular machine is perfect. It's like got the perfect amount of deflection here. It's not too tight, not too loose. But either way, I'm going to show you here. So if your belt feels too loose, I'll show you how to tighten that up. So what you would do if it's too loose is loosen this screw here, this screw here, and this screw here. And you don't want to loosen them, but only about one full turn. That's all you want to loosen it. And then what you do is you take a screwdriver and you put it down in this crack. And what you're going to do is twist it just a little bit, and that'll push this aluminum transmission over. So you'll wind up with a bigger gap here and a tight gap there. And then you tighten down the screws, and that'll adjust your transmission tighter, the belt tighter. And if you want to loosen the belt, you loosen these three screws one full turn. And then you would take the screwdriver on this end of the gap, on this side, and you would twist it. And that twisting force will force this aluminum transmission this way, and you'll get a tight gap here and a bigger gap here, and you just keep your screwdriver in there, keep it twisted, keep it pushed over, tighten down the screws, and now you've just loosened your belt just a little bit. Take some of that pressure off the transmission gears and the bearings and all that stuff. So yeah, that's how you adjust that. A lot of times people get lucky and they just put them in, and 90% of the time it's going to work fine that way. But if you really want to save wear and tear, it's good to check that deflection there. Again, some of them you'll loosen it as far as you can and it'll still be really tight. But as long as you got some deflection, like at least that much deflection, you can see how much I'm moving my finger. But you don't want it too loose either, where you can push that belt way down in there. Because yeah, then you're going to get a grinding sound. You're going to ruin the gears, the belt, all that stuff. So anyhow, just a little tidbit. Thanks for watching.